Hot and humid. I apologize to those of you who were going to be out in the weather today. Yeah, it's recording. I'm just being
So
stupid.
if you had coffee, you're real professional.
Well, this is black tea. Too bad I don't have any water.
You're not
But you don't know that.
No, we drink Lipton. Is it Lipton?
Yeah.
We drink Lipton. Everybody knows Lipton.
Yeah. There we go. I'll make it look nice and
So
professional.
we can start, yeah?
Sure.
Hi everyone, it's Paulina.
Hello, I'm Brandon English.
So today we're going to talk to Brandon. Brandon is a very experienced teacher.
A little maybe.
Yes, he's just very modest. Okay, so I will ask you some questions, yeah?
Okay.
We are both teachers in China. How long have you been teaching in China?
I've been teaching in China for over a year and a half.
So can you tell just briefly the impressions of China and your experience here?
Okay, I am from the United States, so when I came to China, I noticed many differences initially, but I think all of my experience in China can be summed up as a place of extremes. China has gone through many changes, and very fast. So you see on one hand a lot of progress, modern things, and at the same time, right beside it, you still see a lot of people who are
just across the road. Yeah?
Right, like sometimes even right next to each other. You see very rich and very poor, very old, very new, and even in a lot of mindset and culture, it's very similar, very extreme.
Okay, let's return to your teaching experience.
Okay.
What are common mistakes that Chinese learn?
I'm going to say the most common mistake that I like to point out is pronunciation. How you actually speak when you are using English. It's actually very important, and especially what I've noticed in Cantonese speakers is problems with THs, V's, making the sound instead of TH, making or sound, and Z sounds, and dropping sounds instead of saying the whole word.
Especially the last consonant.
Exactly, but dropping the last.
Rice, but right.
Dropping the last, yeah.
What do you like
right.
to eat? I like right.
I like right. And so that's probably the thing that I would say the most, the pronunciation and speaking.
Okay. Anything else? Maybe apart from pronunciation?
Let's see. Another one would just be learning how to respond to the most common questions. Because in English we ask many questions. So if I come in and I say, "What's up?"
Many people don't know how to react.
Yeah, no response. They don't know what to say. So learn how to write down maybe different questions and different responses. Learn all of these so that when an English speaker asks you, you know how to respond.
And how do they usually respond? What's up?
If I say "What's up," most of my students say,
And what should they say?
If I say "What's up," you can say, "Not much. What's up with you?" It's very easy. Not much is up. What is up? Not much is up.
Can you remember any funny situations?
There was a situation last week where one of my friends posted a doll. She had made the hair and the makeup on the doll. And I said, "Oh, very pretty. Can I have her number?" And she said, "If you bribed me." And she didn't just say bribe, which means you pay someone money, then they will do something. But she wrote bride, which is when a woman gets married, she is the bride.
Or maybe it's not a mistake.
So, but that's what my friends say. I don't know. But I pointed it out and I said, "If you want to marry me, I'll have to think about it." And then she said, "It's supposed to be bride." And I said, "You can be honest, it's okay." But that's funny. I see that kind of thing a lot. It's called Chinglish.
Chinglish.
Yes.
Runglish.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe some more recommendations?
Well, I will say this. A good exercise to do for English is to listen to some short clips. A clip that you can play again and again in small pieces. Listen and then write it down. Do your best. Sometimes it's very difficult. But if you write down the sounds, you can learn the sounds. Then when you go back and check it, and you go, it's this. And not only will it help you to memorize it better, but you'll better understand how English actually sounds when you're speaking and listening, rather than looking at the book and then trying to go backwards. Because listening comes first, speaking comes second, and then reading and writing is last. So the main thing is to recognize the words by sound first, and then to be able to speak them properly, which goes back to pronunciation, which I mentioned earlier. No problem, Lena.
Okay, see you later.
See ya.